Good evening. So I'm going to tell a story about an experience that I had almost a year ago, and it's about the diabetic dog. I can finally talk about it. What happened was last summer, it was my son's birthday, and his father and I are divorced. And he has a brother. And we used to do, like, if it was birthday, like a family thing, we would include the parent, even though we're divorced. And there's no issue with, if one of us has someone else, because it's been a long time. So anyway, last year I was beginning to recover from a couple of really serious illnesses. And when I say serious, oh my God. But anyway, so my ex-husband was dating a woman for quite some while that had a diabetic dog. Oh, God, what a story. And I had spoken to him in advance of the birthday about, plans, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? He's open to whatever. And his brother wanted to spend time with him because they live separately. And so he kept being vague and evasive, which was kind of a red flag. And at the 11th hour, the girlfriend and the ex-husband and my son, who was a 9-pound baby, and I had a C-section. I don't want to admit to how many years ago, because I am an older woman. Okay. They went to a restaurant called Lenny's. They excluded his brother. Obviously, they were not going to be including me, because she has insecurities about me. And so, but I felt bad that his brother was excluded. I thought that was real shitty to buy dinner at Lenny's for one of your sons, but not your other. That's real shitty, actually. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. So, afterwards, I found out that they had it planned in advance, and they were just kind of gaslighting me, so to speak. And so I was really upset, and I didn't let my ex-husband or my son know because it was his birthday, and I didn't want my ex-husband to have the upper hand of knowing how, once again, he was a son of a bitch. There's a reason why I divorced him. And so I cried to a few people, and a few of them actually were people on YouTube. And I cried about Lenny and the diabetic dog because his girlfriend has a diabetic dog. Now, I'm probably telling too much. After I had been deathly ill and semi-comatose and in bed for months, just as I began to recover and got news from my doctor, from an oncologist who ordered a PET scan that I was not dying, okay? The other son, the one with the birthday, became really ill. It was like a tragic year, and was in the hospital for 2 months. Yeah. And I went to visit him, and, I was like really deathly ill. So took all of my strength just to get dressed, and I couldn't drive to the hospital. So I was going as a passenger with my ex-husband and my other son. And so I was forced to be in the car for an hour each way, which I gladly tolerated, from my son that was in the hospital. And I was forced to be around my ex-husband, and we were cordial with each other. Now, the first time I went to the hospital to see my son, I wasn't as fixed up as I usually would be with makeup, and my son expressed that he was upset, that he wanted to see me looking like he remembered me since he was a child, and that his mother always wore makeup and had long blonde hair and, whatever. And he said he wanted me to come back the next day, but he wanted to see me fixed up and looking the way that I used to look before I got sick. So I had to start fixing myself up to go to the hospital. And so when we were in the car, my older son and myself, we were talking about things, we were reminiscing, like nostalgic family things. And my ex-husband was looking at me. And from being really sick, I didn't eat for a few months, except I had like water bottles next to my bed, and the older son kept putting bananas, nuts, and water bottles next to my bed. I was so sick I could only get up to go to the bathroom. So I lost weight. And so then I had to put on the makeup and fix my hair to look good for the son in the hospital. And my ex-husband was checking me out. And he started saying things while my older son and I were conversing. On the way to the hospital, we passed a Chinese buffet. And we were talking about when the kids were little, how we used to love to go to Chinese buffets. And I guess at certain points, I was still married to my ex-husband, their father. And my ex-husband kept looking at me and saying, oh yeah, I remember, like, I always like going to the Chinese buffet with the kids, and me. And he said that recently he had gone to a Japanese restaurant in the city and he hated it, that it was really loud and noisy, you couldn't talk, the food wasn't that great, and it was expensive. And he said, oh, you were really always picked good restaurants, family style that included the kids. And he kept looking at me. And then he said, at least you had cats. Do you know what a pain in the ass it is to be walking a diabetic dog several times a day in the winter? Because he used to walk his girlfriend's diabetic dog in the winter. Then there was something else he said. He was comparing me to his girlfriend, and I was coming out favorably. It made me feel nervous. 10 years prior, actually 9 years prior to that, after we were split up for many years, he made an advance at me. That was very inappropriate. Shortly after that, I moved to Tennessee because it was really disturbing. But anyway, so going back to the birthday, When I was upset about the birthday, I didn't tell my son or the ex-husband, but I did tell about 5 people. A couple of them were YouTubers, and I believe I was crying, and I was like, screw the diabetic dog in London Lenny's, but I didn't let my son or my ex-husband know. Well, there is such a thing as karma, and I'm not happy about it. So, the son got better, and the father developed jaundice, went to the hospital for emergency gallbladder surgery. And while he was having gallbladder surgery, they saw this little white blob, and they biopsied it. And they said, oh, it's probably nothing. It might be like a little fat. Usually cancer isn't like a little white blob. And the weird thing is I had gallbladder surgery in 2015. An hour after it was over, I was getting discharged. As soon as you wake up from the anesthesia, they make you drink some water. They make you put your clothing on, and you have to walk a few laps around like the nurse's desk. And then as soon as you feel like you can pee, the nurse wants you to go into the bathroom. You go in the bathroom, you pee, but you don't flush. And then the nurse goes in and looks to make sure there's pee in the toilet bowl, because they don't want to send you home until they're sure that you can pee. So that's my gallbladder experience. And mine was emergency gallbladder. So anyway, he ended up being in the hospital for 6 days with gallbladder surgery. And I don't know if it's because of the biopsy or what, or because he had jaundice. So about a week after he got out of the hospital, he finds out he has a rare and aggressive form of cancer. And I was really upset. A family member cried and said, as crappy as he was to you, you were nice to him. And we talked about the birthday, and we talked about London Lenny's and the diabetic dog, and how everything happened in the last 2 years about me being really, really sick, and his crappy attitude about one of our sons being really sick, and then this happening. And right now, he's still alive. He had a major surgery, and he had 3 rounds of chemo, like infusion, and then also takes like an oral medication. But anyway, I'm not happy about how all this transpired. But one of the people that I cried about this to, I told them about the diabetic dog in London Lenny's. And he said, oh, that would be a good troll name. And I laughed, but I didn't think he would do it, because it's cruel. That was a traumatic experience. Whether you like me or not, the whole thing was traumatic. And I just went into a chat before, which I normally don't do. I was told by a dear friend that he was on here using the name Diabetic Dog. I went in and I saw, lo and behold, this person pontificates like he is family man and pure and wonderful and a saint, and he is nothing but a dirty dog, and using that name is gonna bring him bad karma. I don't have to wish bad karma on anyone, because the last 2 years showed me. I'm telling you, I am seeing so many things going down with people that I just keep popcorn around, and I just sit back, and it's like, sit back. If someone is a habitual liar online, can you imagine what they're doing offline? Can you imagine people telling you things chronically, and everything that they've told you is a lie? And you know it's a lie, and now you've called them out on their lies, so now they're trying to find a new group of people to lie to and manipulate. And I don't have to do a thing. I don't even have to wish ill will on you, because you're going to bring it upon yourself. Smearing me, I don't care, because this is YouTube and I'm not breaking any terms of service. It's a video sharing platform, and I love it when these idiots go around saying, "Oh, you show yourself on the internet, you're a narcissist." It's a video sharing platform. I guess there are millions and millions of us narcissists online. Why are you hiding your faces, people, to the ones that troll? Are you on mugshots.com, or are you just that damn ugly? Anyway, have the day that you deserve. Oh, and the reason why I was able to do this video so late is Antonio is asleep and snoring. He's exhausted from making hot, passionate love to me. Bye.